Instant the key is.
Where's the reverse?
The reverse is here. It would be pushing it up for
Pushing
reverse,
it
down for
for drive.
drive.
And press for park.
Exactly.
So
And
which way we're getting out?
We'll take a left, and it's in neutral there.
Is it?
There we go.
Oh, okay. Go across. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go.
left here.
So 200 mile. If I'm running AC and stuff, it will be still 200 mile, or
It'll be a
come
little bit less.
Okay.
It's always going to use some, but it depends on a lot of factors. There's a few
Where is
stay
that?
to the right. Yes, a lot of variables that'll go into range. You know, it is a function of your driving habits, driving conditions, heat or cold.
Oh, okay.
Turn right here.
And what's the best route to go to for test drive?
And we'll stay to the right. Well, let's avoid the Pike West. So what we'll do is take Route 9 West and then come back on the Pike East.
So in the traffic, like you know, like any gas car, like you know, pay the price to be stuck in traffic. Is it going to be the same way on this one here?
It's actually the complete opposite of a typical vehicle. It gets better range in bumper-to-bumper traffic and city driving than it typically would on highway driving. And the reason being is you actually have a visual of it right here. So that orange upward arc is your energy use per mile, and the downward green arc is your energy recapture rate per mile.
is the regenerative braking on right now?
It is, yes. It's always going to be on. It's just there are two modes, the standard and low. Standard, you're going to feel the car slow down quite a bit, and it's regenerating as much power as it can. Whereas when you put it on low, you'll feel the car coasting quite a bit more. It's just going to feel a little more natural, and still regenerating just about half as much.
Oh, okay. So the green tells you that how much it's generating because it's charging through the tires and stuff, or something.
It's through the motor itself.
Through the motor itself.
Mm-hmm.
The cool sound it makes every time you press the accelerator.
So everything is digital, obviously. Nothing. This is a P85. This the sports model of 85.
This
or?
is the 85D.
This is 85D.
Still 422 horsepower with 0 to 60 of 4.4, so it's certainly not a slouch.
Are you pressing the brake? Try not to press the brake and
No,
stop.
I'm not pressing the brake. It's not even letting me go there. It's just like when you have to come to complete stop.
Mm-hmm. And that regenerative braking does have the added benefit of preserving your brakes.
Yeah.
You should only have to change brakes after about 100,000 miles or even more sometimes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So maintenance on this car is much lower than
It is.
the gas cars. So normally the biggest issue that people will say is what you pay a premium to go electric, and you know right now the price of gas was pretty low, you know, this past at least 6 months or to a year, you can say. Not a year, actually 6 months. So is that still like people still consider it as like a valuable thing to go electric, or because the gas prices are low, or?
There's still always going to be a pretty tangible savings over gasoline. It's, you know, when you get to cars like the Model S, it's certainly not going to be the main determining factor in buying the car.
Okay.
It's not going to be the gas savings. Yeah, it could certainly be the fact that it's green, but it won't be the monetary, it won't be the financial part of it. But you're still looking at, generally, especially if you're coming out of a car with premium gasoline and sports car. You look at the S550, the Jaguar XJ, BMW 7 Series, Audi A8s, A7s, A6, things like that, that may not get the best gas mileage and you're putting premium in, you're going to save around $2,500, $2,000 for every 15,000 miles you drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the comparative gas mileage on this?
The gas mileage is around 95 miles per gallon. But it's an MPGe, mile per gallon equivalent.
Yeah, that's supposed to know.
It will be 85, you said?
About 95.
95. So basically, when you're driving city, you're taking your foot off the pedal, and that's what's charging the car, and that's why it does better in the traffic.
Exactly. You have many more chances to do regenerative braking, whereas on the highway, it'll always be using power to kind of maintain your speed and keep the car in motion.
Does this car have the 7-seater?
It does not.
Do any of them the ones you have?
None of the ones that we have currently at the showroom. And then it's worth noting too that you cannot get the rear-facing seats with the executive rear seat. So it's one of those options, a couple of those options that are not compatible with each other.
It wouldn't make sense.
So this is like pass as a 4-passenger or a 5-passenger?
A 4.
Just this option.
So it does not have like a tax credits every year because you're not creating any CO2, like like a carbon footprint kind of thing.
It doesn't. You do have it's the one-time 7,500, so it'd be in your first year.
Okay. So this car is you said what's the cost on this one?
This particular car, as it sits, is $106,000 as it's spec'd.
106,000. Because it has like if it will be regular seating in the back, then what would be like maybe 2,000 less, 4,000 less?
It would. The executive rear seat's a $3,000 option, and it does also require the cold weather package, which is $1,000, as well as the premium interior and lighting package, which is also $3,000. So I mean, potentially, simply not getting the executive rear seats, the premium interior and lighting package, and the cold weather package, you're looking at saving about $7,000.
So premium interior, what does that mean? Like,
so it's going to give you Napa leather armrests, as
Okay.
well as accents on the door here, and then here on the dashboard.
Okay.
If it does not have the premium interior package, this will be a synthetic leather.
Okay.
Still a
So the
soft
car
touch
that we were
material.
sitting in, what kind of leather does that have?
That had the synthetic on it.
Synthetic.
Yes.
Okay.
It was still good though.
And then you do also have accent lighting that would be under the doors here, as well as underneath the seats, kind of where the passengers' feet would be in the back seats.
Okay.
And puddle lights.
So does it tell you like battery life? Like, does it tell you like you can go half an hour more, things like that, or miles more? Or
It tells you the exact mileage right there,
Oh, okay.
which is
That's
a
242.
fairly accurate
Okay.
representation of it, and it will adjust based on your driving.
Okay. Just like any other car.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of audio speakers and stuff is used? Like, do you guys use like Audi uses
Those.
Bose, and so
And you could, we don't. We actually have used. It's an in-house design, so a lot of it was done by Tesla.
that's not.
Our upgraded sound system uses Dolby Digital surround sound,
Okay.
and it goes from a 7-speaker sound system to a 12-speaker, and you have an additional subwoofer in the trunk with the upgraded system as well.
So this battery is showing the car battery, right? Or your cell battery.
That's the car battery.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just sort of scaled down from the
Yeah,
center
yeah.
one there.
I got my phone battery in my car. It shows you how much your phone is charged, so that's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. wish my phone looked like that this late in the day.
Display is pretty cool.
So what does the autopilot do?
So the autopilot is the best way to think about it would be highly advanced cruise control. A lot of people want to call it autonomous driving, the car driving itself, but really it's going to keep you in your lane while maintaining a safe distance between you and the car in front of you, and you can set that distance between 2 to 7 car lengths.
So is that a package that you buy?
It is, and all of our vehicles ship with the hardware for it. It's just a matter of if you'd like to have the software activated or not.
Okay.
And how much does that cost?
It's a $2,500 option.
So it just beeps or something when you going off the lane? or
It'll
something?
actually keep itself in the lane without you actually having to touch the wheel. And then with the traffic-aware cruise control, it's going to maintain a safe speed as well as a preset distance.
So I can pretty much put it, once I am on the highway and I activate it, I can pretty much let it run it by itself. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Hands off the steering wheel?
$2,500, that's cheap.
It's really not. Yeah, it's not a bad deal for like I said, some of the most advanced cruise control systems really in the industry right now. But it's still yet to be activated. We have bits and pieces of it so far, things like the traffic-aware cruise control, but the auto steering isn't out yet. So we're still kind of even as employees here, we're all waiting to kind of see what that final push will look like.
Oh,
So at this point, you can only get it so that it'll keep you in your lane and stop and move the car.
Just the traffic-aware cruise control, where it'll just follow the car in front of you. Not necessarily follow, but maintain the same speed and keep us a preset distance. But you still have to steer the car.
So when will that keep you in the lane stuff and all that come out?
We're not quite sure yet, but it shouldn't be too much longer.
So the one thing I'm noticing is it's just brake is very sensitive. Like,
They are.
because it's also motor control plus you add the brake pedal on it. Is that what the reason is, or?
It's actually the brakes themselves are we use Brembo brakes on the cars, so they're essentially racing grade. It's what you would put on Porsches and the like. So they're extremely sensitive, and they'll stop the car. You do 60 to 0 in 113 feet.
Yeah. The other thing that I had seen an accident of Tesla somewhere in LA. They were showing it on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
The car split into two.
Yes.
So a lot of people ask you a question about that, or
yeah, I mean it's definitely it does
how
get
did that
brought up.
happen? I mean, the
It
car
was a high-speed chase. Somebody had stolen the vehicle, and basically after crashing it and hitting a telephone pole, it did cut the car in half, which would happen to any vehicle. Luckily, it didn't have fuel lines.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have had a huge fire.
So there's no combustible material, no combusting going on in this car?
There's not.
Yeah, but is batteries ever in danger of fire?
There's
So what is the bar here showing? 240.
That's the music and the little X up there. It's just letting you know that it's muted,
Okay.
but the music is actually still playing, so it's 2.5 minutes through the song.
This is pretty much, I mean, the battery, when just you pick up your foot from the gas, or, accelerator, I should say. In this case, you really feel like it's braking,
Oh, it's actually, I mean, it does take getting used to, but once you're used to it, it's really quite nice, especially traffic.
Because you don't have to just take your foot right off the pedal and just press the brakes. that the safe distance kind of thing?
That was the front collision alert. So it was letting you know that the vehicle in front of us had slowed down enough or come to a stop enough that the our speed was significantly more than theirs. So just letting you know, and it's cool when that does happen. It'll actually mute the music too, so that it's really
hear it.
Exactly. It's not like you certainly won't miss it.
One other thing I'm feeling is it gives you a heavy feel, you know, like a SUV kind of feel with the steering, and it's just like pretty hard. And is that?
It is adjustable.
It's adjustable.
So you can adjust the stiffness of the steering wheel itself. So comfort mode is going to be a bit more loose and kind of feel maybe not as responsive. Whereas if you go all the way to sport, you're going to feel the car, it will feel heavier and kind of be that tighter, almost BMW feel.
Yeah, okay. Because that's what happens is on those cars, when you go speed, it just automatically
it's
makes
dynamic.
It, yeah.
So just hop over to the right hand lane here. We get it on the bike.
So does this one have like a lane changing alert thing?
It does.
So where does it show?
So if you were to, if you're traveling above 30 miles an hour and you try to go over across the lane without using your directional, or you get close to the lane without it, the car will vibrate at you, and it's going to feel like you hit a rumble strip almost. So that's exactly what it's doing, is kind of imitating the rumble strip. Not enough to really scare you, but just enough to say, hey, you know,
stay alert.
Yeah, you know, look up, or if you're texting.
So
or something,
that's a standard feature?
We don't condone. It is standard, yes. All of these features here under the settings and then driver assistance, this is all standard because these are safety related.
Okay.
Anything safety related, we've made standard.
Also, there's automatic emergency braking as well.
Correct. To mitigate an impact if it thinks something might happen.
Wow. So if I go close to the thing, it should.
There it is.
They put a lot of features for the driver to stay alert.
Mm-hmm. It's really a well thought out car.
Or does it have the Easy Pass?
Yes, we move right.
Right here.
Okay, so it's just telling you that if you had not used your blinker, that means maybe it's more like accident. Like sometimes, you know, when you're driving, even I make that mistake. Sometimes I don't use the blinker, especially when the road is open, you know, to change. So that means in this one, if I have to change it, either I have to quickly change it and ignore the warning, or just put the blinker on.
And you can actually turn the warning off if you want. So all of those safety features, they are toggleable, and some people do find them a little bit overbearing and don't want to have things beeping at them or vibrating. So you can turn them off. It is optional. So we'll head through here and we'll head east towards Boston.
Sure.
What I'll do now is I will turn the regenerative braking on to low. So this is where you'll feel it coasting a bit more, and just kind of feel like a typical car.
Yeah. Now it does. Before, earlier it was like, because this is the first time I'm driving it, so it felt like really like something is wrong with the wheels or something. You know, that
it is it's strange at first, especially if you're not expecting it. And even if you are, it is quite pronounced, so you will notice it immediately.
Yeah, you're right. There's like no feel like it's shifting. You know,
it's truly effortless, very linear.
Oh, right there, it's on blue to gray. What does that mean? That you're going?
The blue goes all the way up to the speed limit. The gray or the white above it is how far above the speed limit you've gone.
That is cool.
So is this the navigation is like lifetime map updates and stuff like that, or how does it work?
You get updates for 7 years.
7 years. So afterwards, then it will stop showing you the thing if you go to a new road, right? The road
Not
maps.
necessarily. It may need a hardware update or something.
Driving on a highway with that standard, motor control kind of thing, whatever you call it, that could be really actually dangerous too, because if somebody's coming behind you and all of a sudden you pick up the foot.
Well, it does actually, when it's in standard mode, it turns your brake lights on.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's also a good reason to not have it on, just for everybody else's sanity behind you, so they don't think you're constantly hitting your brakes.
Yeah. Wow, you really feel it. Does it have a single or two wipers? I didn't even know.
Two.
Would you be able to explain how this really helps the environment? This car, this electric car.
Well, it helps out in a few different ways, and a lot of it just begins with the way we custom build all of the cars. So we don't have an entire lot full of cars. There's much less waste. We only build as many cars as we need. So there's a nice environmental impact there. The other thing is the longevity of the car. This is a car that, as I was explaining earlier, is made almost entirely of aluminum. You do have a few key areas that are boron steel composite, but with it being aluminum, this is a car that's designed to last quite a long time. So unlike some other cars where you may have to get a new car much more frequently, with a Model S, you can hold on to this car for much longer, and you get much more life out of it. So you do have reduced environmental impact and waste there as well. And then there's the obvious one, which is basically with it being electric. And yes, there is the argument that where's your electricity come from? A lot of it is coal-fired power plants, things like that. But the reality is even in some of the dirtiest electrical places, such as West Virginia, which is almost entirely coal-fired, you're still only putting in, you're cutting your carbon emissions in half with a Model S, as opposed to using a petroleum-driven
And isn't
vehicle.
it that all the superchargers use solar panels?
Not all of them, although it is certainly a goal of the company to get solar canopies kind of put up over all of them. But right now, a lot of them are connected to the grid too.
That is really cool.
So I guess since the company started selling cars, it's like the cost came down on the cars, or like you guys are selling them a cheaper option to sell more, or to encourage people to buy more? Or...
So since the Model S has been on the market, it's gone up a little bit, but then has recently come down in the sense that things like the technology package are now standard. Supercharging is standard on the base models, so you can get all-wheel drive is standard. So with a 70D, you can purchase a 70D without adding any of the additional kind of convenience features or some of the more aesthetic features, things like the color and then adding the upgraded leather and things like that. And you'd be extremely happy. It is a well-equipped, amazing vehicle without having to do anything to it. And it starts at $75.
The 70D starts at 75?
Correct.
And this one is 106, you said, right?
Yes, so this is a 85D that has quite a few options on it. Almost everything except the ultra-high fidelity sound system and the rear-facing child seats.
Which you can't have on this model anyways.
Exactly.
does it have like tell you like your trip meter, like you know how much you have driven, how
Absolutely.
time, stuff?
So you can actually monitor your trip meter on the driver's display, which you can adjust by pressing in the wheels on the left and right side of the wheel.
Okay, yeah, right here.
Yep. And then you can scroll it down and look at all different media, energy charts, trip meters right below that. And it'd be the same energy chart that you see on the top of the screen here, which, you know, when you use the trips monitor in conjunction with the energy chart here, this is a good way to really get into hypermiling. So if you do want to maximize the range and really become truly efficient with the car, these are some of the tools that you'd be able to use.
Okay, so it just helps you to figure out what you're doing wrong.
Exactly.
Or how you should be driving it to make it last longer.
Mm-hmm. And this right here, you've driven this car even more efficiently than what we project. You know, you want to stay at or below this line here, which is 300 watts per mile. Right here, we've been using 252. We've actually been below, so very, very efficient driving.
So this car is purchased by mostly, I believe, like a more right here.
Yes.
Like more for I would say like a luxury kind of driving, or is it like daily commute car, or how do you think your customers are using it? Like, you know, it's not for long drives and stuff.
Well,
So-
we have a lot of people who do take it on long trips, and they love doing it because it is a kind of a novel way of doing long distance travel, especially with it being free. A lot of people, though, I'd say the vast majority, this is a daily driver. This is your typical BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Jaguar customer who is looking into these.
Okay.
But then you do get a lot of people on the performance side as well. If you know, for a four-door family sedan, the performance of the Model S is absolutely incredible, and really there's really nothing like it on the market as far as
And how we gonna
sedans.
get there now?
Turn
Right here.
right in here, yes.
When do you suppose the Model X and Model 3 are coming out?
So the Model X we'd like to have out sometime in the third quarter this year, so it's not too far off. Turn right here. And then the Model 3, we really don't know yet. It's definitely, once the battery factory, once we have our Gigafactory up and running, that'll kind of be the first catalyst into us being able to bring the price down on the vehicles and kind of really push forward with the Model 3. So there's a few variables that are still up in the air right now. Turn right here. Before we can actually give a definitive kind of target for the Model 3.
Is the brightness on that screen like changeable? Like, could you turn it up and down?
Absolutely.
Do you want me to back it up, or?
If you'd like. You certainly, if you're not, I don't want to make you do it if you're not comfortable doing that, but if you can, you'll see it pull the rear view camera up, and you do have the guidelines as well as
Yeah.
the overhead view where you'll see parking sensors. So if you do get within 3 feet of an object, it's going to tell you right down to the inch.
I think I'm good, I know, but I just don't want to wreck
Oh
it.
yeah, no, perfect. This is actually, these guidelines are where your wheels are.
Yeah, okay. That should be good. Or a little bit
Actually,
more.
if you get a little bit closer, I'll show you. So on the left-hand driver's display, as well as down at the bottom here. Perfect.
So does it, what is it, for 24 inches?
24 inches from the wall.
Oh, okay. And
That's it. So this is how you'd auto dim.
Like-
But and then you do have daytime and nighttime. So nighttime is going to invert the color scheme to a black background with white lettering. And
Oh.
it's also customizable as well. So, I myself prefer it if I'm driving one at night to leave it in about 25%. It's certainly bright enough.
so what would the AC and stuff, it's just like auto? If I exit, it's just going to stop working?
Exactly. Yes. So there's pressure sensors in the seats. So once we all exit the vehicle, it's going to basically go to sleep. It never truly goes off.
Okay. So there's nothing in the, there's no like engine thing. That's also another